Welcome to the May 1st, 2019 meeting of the Thousand Oaks Council on Aging. My name is Karen Gorbach, your chair, and I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And may we now have the roll call?
Please say here present when I call your name. Chair Gorbach.
Here.
Vice Chair Loretta Allen.
Here.
Commissioner Stephen Allen.
Here.
Commissioner Belding. Here. Commissioner Burt. Here. Commissioner Gitt.
Present.
Commissioner Maria.
Here.
Commissioner Mortimer.
Here.
And Commissioner Posta.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have a very nice crowd joining us today. Thank you to everyone who joined us. And do we have any public comment cards? I see none. And so we will now go to number 5 on our agenda, the liaison and agency reports. And for that, I'd like to call on Commissioner Posta.
I'm sorry. I got it backwards. We got two lovely girls up there, and I always, get them mixed up. Anyway, I'll try again. We have here, first of all, for the Global Adult Community Center, Patty Ham, who's the director. She's going to fill us out on all the wonderful activities, and I hope she gets it straight.
Oh boy, the pressure. Well, I forgive you for forgetting that I was giving the report, not Julie. Thank you for the glasses, Los Robles Hospital. I appreciate it. Happy anniversary. So May is a huge month for us at Global. We have so many things going on, and I only have a little time to tell you all about them. So just briefly, coming up this Friday, it is a sold-out event, but I wanted to still tell you about what we're doing. We're having a Cinco de Mayo celebration, but it's a Tres de Mayo day. But we're going to have a taco cart come. We're going to have nacho bar. We're going to have live music and dancing and photo booth. We're going to have a muy bueno good time. And then on May the 12th, actually the 11th, we are going to have our Mother's Day tea, and that's sold out as well. But I just want to let you know we are having it and honoring our mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers there on Saturday with our Mother's Day tea. And we're having little teeny tiny tea sandwiches and scones and desserts and a different array of lovely teas. We will... our main event that I wanted to, I gave you all invites to, our National Senior Health and Fitness Day. It is on Wednesday, May 29th, and we are going to be celebrating that at the CLU Community Pool this year. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we're going to be doing pool deck yoga first. Then we'll be doing a little bit of ageless grace chair fitness, and then we'll get into the pool and do some water exercise, and then we'll get out and we'll dry off, and we will have a barbecue, a healthy barbecue to finish it off. So I invite all of you and all of our seniors in the audience to come and enjoy that day and exercise and celebrate being healthy. Our Global Senior Center Commission will be having a History Comes Alive event on May 19th. That is a Sunday from 3 to 4:30. And the event is themed 1910 Suffrage Meeting with activist Dolly Gray. So that's going to be a very interesting and fun event to come to and learn about history of when women got the right to vote. And there will be lots of seniors there, and you'll be right at home. And we will have a ballroom dance on May 18th. Our dance lesson will be the bachata. I've never heard of that before. Wyatt Hop will be our live band. And that is it for the Global Center.
Thank you very, very much. You know, it sounds like there was an awful lot that she had to report on, but that's only a sample of what they have over at the Global Center. You really ought to come. Look at this Global Gazette. It's got, like both pages just filled with activities, just waiting for you to come by. So please come by when you can. Next, we have, this time, Julie Spivak, who is the director of the Canejo Senior Volunteer Program. Julie, what do you have special for us?
Thank you, Commissioner Posta. We have our charity karaoke event coming up, Charity Karaoke Sing for a Cause, and it is going to be at the Canyon Club this year, and it's going to be taking place on August 11th. If you know of any nonprofits who would like to participate in this event, we're taking applications through May 10th. So go ahead and send that information to them. You can find information on our website. It is charityKaraoke.org, and we do have a few spaces left. This event is free to participate for nonprofit organizations. Also, we have some great new volunteer opportunities that we are offering right now. The CRPD Therapeutic Recreation is looking for volunteers to assist with Canejo's Special Olympic programs. The team coaches assist Special Olympics athletes in weekly training. No experience is necessary. Winter, spring sports include basketball, track and field, and flag football. And summer and fall include tennis, volleyball, and bowling. Also, the California Museum of Art in Thousand Oaks is looking for volunteer gallery attendants who will help create a friendly environment while overseeing gallery experience. Responsibilities include welcoming visitors, offering information about exhibits, membership and programs, and helping with special projects when needed. Volunteers are needed for 2-hour shifts Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. And for those who don't know, they moved this location to the Thousand Oaks Mall, and it is beautiful. Please go ahead and call the CSVP office at 805-381-2742 for information on the charity karaoke event or volunteer opportunities near you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'd now like to call on Vice Chair Loretta Allen to facilitate the next part of our meeting.
Thank you, Chair Gorback. First, we have A is education, which is going to be presented by Chair Gorback.
Me? Okay, whoa. Okay, so this is my last education report for you this year. And I just wanted to remind everyone that summer is a great time to try something new, to take a new class, because summer classes are often maybe just a little smaller, a little less crowded than they are during the year. And it's a wonderful time to learn something new. And as I've said before, recent research, brain research, has proven that we continue to grow and learn new things throughout a lifetime. And we continue to make synapses in our brains. So it's really important to remain brain healthy and learn something new. So I'd like to point out 3 local areas where you can pick up a class this summer. And the first is our wonderful Thousand Oaks Library, both the Grant Brimhall Library on Jance Road and in Newbury Park on Borchard. There's a wide variety of free computer classes. Did I say free? Yes, free computer classes, including a very cool class that's coming up on Friday, June 7th. That's called eBooks and More. And this is wonderful because it is going to teach you how to download free electronic books, magazines, music, videos, and so much more, so many more learning activities through the library website. You need to take this class and find out how you can access all the information in the world. It is fabulous. Secondly, we've heard from the Global Center before, but I would also really like to encourage you to pick up a class there. I've taken classes there. They're all different prices. There's something for everyone, including dance, photography, art, exercise, classes in a chair, exercise, dance classes in a chair, which is, the speed that I go at, quilting, astronomy, casino games, dozens of other games. Be sure to check out the Global Center this summer. Finally, Canejo Valley Adult School. Again, check the catalog for prices, but I want you to know that along with the community enrichment classes on topics such as meditation, social media for beginners, how to sell on eBay, Italian, Spanish, French, Japanese, and tons of other personal enrichment classes, you can also use the adult school, which is a local treasure, to learn professional development. Whether you want to upgrade your skills for a part-time job, a new full-time job, or to learn something brand new, such as train to be a notary in a day, or insurance billing, or office assistant, or phlebotomy technician. A lot of these are very short term. There is a price. They're not terribly, terribly expensive. To upgrade your skills, try something new. Don't forget Canejo Valley Adult School. And there is a counselor there who will sit down with you and go over your options. So thank you very much and have a terrific summer.
Thank you, Chair Gorback. I've taken several classes at the Canejo Valley Adult School, and I'm taking some at the Global Center this year, Spanish, and I'm taking the film noir class at both the Global Center and the Canejo Valley Adult School. Those of us that are old enough to remember watching film noir movies when we were babysitting. Okay, the next report is on health, and that is me. So I have a PowerPoint that, and keeping with the senior health and fitness theme, I put together a presentation on 10 easy steps to prevent falls, but always check with your provider on anything you want to do to make sure it's what you need to do. Next slide, please. Okay. Go back one, please. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Okay, the whole goal of this is to stay balanced and aware. And so it's a takeoff on the theme that Chair Gorback just talked about, that if your brain is healthy, then you can be balanced and aware. Next to loneliness, falls are one of the biggest risks that seniors have to deal with. It's been well documented. So these are some ideas or suggestions that will help you to strengthen your risk of not having falls. Okay, the first one, like Chair Gorback just said, is to be active. Very important. And regular exercise and classes, this fits in very well, help to build your muscle strength, balance, and reduce fatigue. And that's very real. My chiropractor that I see, he always says that motion is lotion. Thank you. I get those two words reversed. Motion is lotion. So we go to the same person. So anyway, it's very true that it does energize you and help you to feel part of the group and to stay fit. Okay, the next one is to check your vision. One of the biggest things is that we don't have regular vision checks as we age, but if you have a comprehensive dilated eye exam and keep your prescription eyeglasses up to date, that'll really lessen your risk of tripping on something that you can't see. And wear shoes. While instead of walking around barefoot or in socks, which are very slippery, always wear slippers or shoes with non-slip soles. And that's really important. And then the next one, number 4, is to monitor your meds. A lot of meds, when you're taking a lot of meds, I remember when I was a young nurse and I'd give the older people 17 different meds, I thought, oh my God, how do they do that? But now I'm kind of doing that. So you really need to look at how your meds interact with each other. And because dizziness or fatigue can be linked to your medications. But check with your doctor and find out if you're feeling dizzy or fatigued excessively, then that it would be a good thing to check. Okay, the next thing is to use support when needed. And that's what I do because I have bad knees. So if needed for balance and stability while walking, don't be embarrassed to use a cane or a walker. And pride goeth before the fall is a real one in this case. Now, the next one is to prevent slips. A lot of places, when you travel, they don't have handholds for in the showers or in the bathtubs to get in and out. But there are resources in the Canejo Valley that can help you look at your house and install these things for a very reasonable price. So don't wait to install the different handholds for the toilet or the tub and the shower. I love using my shower chair. It's really helpful. Another thing is to avoid tipsiness. You know, when you go to one of these senior meetings, make sure that if you drink alcohol, it's in moderation, and know how it interacts with your meds, because I've been to some things where people probably should have stopped a little sooner. But anyway, so that's always something to consider. And then avoid hazards. Make sure that you don't have any throw rugs, and slippery floors are really one of the major causes of falls in the house. So make sure that you have, even in the shower, you can wear shower pool shoes to make sure that you don't slip when you get out on your tile floor. And the next one, 9, many of us have to deal with challenges with our bones. And if your diet doesn't contain enough calcium, and check with your healthcare provider, or vitamin D supplements, they can help. Calcium and supplements can help. We had a wonderful speaker a couple of months ago who talked about the different kinds of supplements that do have some validity. And then many of the health plans do provide an in-house assessment of your risks for fall. So check with your insurance provider and see if your insurance will cover an in-home assessment, and because that might be a good way to go. So the source of this is from, and this is wonderful. I worked for Kaiser for 19 years, and I worked in putting in the electronic health record, and I got to go to all the regions, and I got to see the innovation site in Washington, D.C., where they are looking at all sorts of different innovative ways to keep people healthy so that they don't have to go into the hospital. Sorry. But keep them out of the hospital. It's a great center. If you get to Washington, D.C., it's not Kaiser specific. They just do it, and they have a lot of innovative things. So anyway, 10 easy steps to prevent falls. Thank you. Okay, our next, I'm going to turn it over to the outreach with Commissioner Belding.
Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? I was trying to be silent. So, anyway, I'm the commissioner doing outreach this year, and I just wanted to let you know a few things, update you on a few things. I am at the Global Adult Community Center one Tuesday. God bless you. The last Tuesday of each month, I am there between approximately 11 a.m. and approximately 1 p.m. And I'm in the lobby there, and I get to talk with a lot of you. And I have spoken with probably over 60 people so far in the last few months. I kind of drag them over, or they stop, and I give out a lot of informational literature, a lot of things that I've learned since being on the council, and a lot of things that I've learned from the presenters that we've had and our own council members that go out and seek information. And so I don't claim to be the expert as I sit there, but I can get you to an expert. And we have an entire wall of things at the Global Adult Community Center of all kinds of sources of information for medical and assisted living and travel and anything that you can imagine. And I'm there to help point out those things and answer questions about those things as well. So again, that's approximately 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The last Tuesday of each month. And I will be there next month on May 28th, which is a Tuesday, and I will be there on Tuesday, June 25. I will not be there in July and August, as we do not meet in July and August. So just to throw that out you. But you can stop in and discuss any kind of question or issue. If I don't know the answer, I'll try and find out for you. Also, to let you know, we do outreach events. And last month, I was at the Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in their fireside room, and we had a wonderful discussion and presentational event. And I was joined by the Canejo Valley Village representatives, and they presented a lot of excellent information. We got a lot of great feedback from that. Next week, I will be at a presentational event at St. Paschal Baylon Catholic Church in Thousand Oaks, and I will also be bringing along Commissioner Burt, and we're hoping to have a really exciting event for that evening as well. So I would like to encourage you, if you belong to a group where a lot of the members, maybe 50 and over, let's say, that we're happy to come to you. And if you would like to have us come to your group or your event, we'll be going out to the Owls at St. Julie's in Newbury Park. So you don't have to wait for me to track you guys down and try and, get your attention. You can definitely call us. You could call us at 805-381-7362. And try to get a hold of us and find a way to get us to come out to you, or go to the Council on Aging at toaks.org. And that's another way to contact us, Council on Aging at toaks.org. And then my last thing is that in concert with the Macy's department store, the Global Adult Community Center will be having a fashion show, and Macy's is going to be supplying all of the, accessories and clothing, and hopefully they'll give a few hints to models, because I am going to be in that show doing a little modeling. And that will be Sunday, July 14 at the Global Adult Community Center from 2 to 5 p.m. So get tickets early for that, and thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much for an excellent report. And I'd now like to turn the meeting over to Commissioner Mortimer, who will introduce our keynote speaker today.
Thank you, Chair Gorbach. It is my pleasure to introduce Natalie Musee. She joined Los Robles Health System as the first female president and chief executive officer in January 2014. Prior to her appointment, she served as chief operating officer of Los Robles Hospital since October 2008. During her tenure, Natalie has led Los Robles through its Level 2 Trauma Center verification, the first and only accredited stroke center in Ventura County, the acquisition of Thousand Oaks Surgical Hospital, and the additions of the Cardiovascular Institute Center for Advanced Wound Healing and Women's Health Partners. Natalie brings a wealth of knowledge and experience in hospital operations, acquisitions, construction, business development, and healthcare leadership from her experience in other markets prior to joining the Los Robles team. Natalie holds a Master of Health Administration and Bachelor of Science from the University of Southern California. She serves as an advisory board member of the Boys and Girls Club of Moorpark, a new board member to the Girl Scouts of America, and Big Brothers Big Sisters, and a past board member of the Alliance for the Arts for Thousand Oaks. Please welcome Natalie Musee.
Thank you, Commissioner Mortimer, and thank you to the Council for having me today. I'm so honored to be here and to share with you a celebration of the hospital and its 50 years here in the community. So I hope you'll enjoy it. We've enjoyed it. We've shared this with our team, and so we're looking forward to it. For us, we always start with our mission and our vision. For us, that's the foundation. That's everything, drives really everything that we do. So our mission, above all else, is we're committed to the care and improvement in human life. So everything that we do really drives around that mission. And our vision is to be the community's most trusted resource for health and a regional destination for care. So a little bit about Los Robles. We're going to talk a little bit about how it's changed over the years as the city has changed and grown over the years. We're now a 382 campus health system. We have our main campus on Jans Road that has been there since 1968. And then we have our rehab campus down by Westlake High School that is now 40 beds of our rehab hospital. We have Thousand Oaks Surgical Hospital, which serves as a great addition to us in 2012. It's really great for that elective surgical patient. And then we have a number of outpatient clinics that help support that inpatient care that we provide to the community. This is a fun picture I like to share because on the left side, that is the groundbreaking and ribbon cutting from when the hospital opened in 1968. I think one of the things, I share this in orientation with our new employees because I think one of the things it shows is the community support. And that's something Los Robles has been very lucky to have. We have a great community that we're a part of and we're fortunate for that. And we think a lot of our success has been because of that community partnership. And then the picture on the right shows all of our locations now and kind of how we've grown and expanded. And so with that, we're gonna cut to a quick video that we put together last year that was in celebration of our 50th anniversary, where we were able to pull members of the community that has really been part of the Los Robles history. On November 12th, 1968, Los Robles Hospital opened its doors to the community. Originally a $10 million project, Los Robles boasted 225 beds and was the largest private hospital to be built in the state at the time.
15 acres in the middle of Thousand Oaks. This is one of the best hospitals there is. Today we have the best of everything right here. And I know, I've lived here for 50 years.
We have raised generations of families. Los Robles has become an integral part of the community.
Giving local care, but exquisite care.
I feel like I've grown up with Los Robles Hospital. It is an epicenter of the community, and it's had that effect on me and my extended family. Being a police officer, I'm out and about. Everywhere I turn my back, I see the impacts of Los Robles. They get it, that it's more of a holistic approach of not only taking care of the physical health, but taking care of their emotional health too.
You know, each day we're given the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of our patients, in their families, and also in the lives of our staff. I think there's a sense of pride that comes from working in a medical center that serves the community in which we live as well.
In 1969, shortly after its opening, Los Robles completed the first heart catheterization in Ventura County, followed by the first open heart surgery performed in the county in 1970. Since then, Los Robles Hospital has continued to be a healthcare pioneer in the region.
We've just changed tremendously to offer all of this extraordinary care, such as comprehensive stroke and minimally invasive cardiac procedures and all sorts of the robotics.
Today, Los Robles is a licensed 382-bed hospital with additional campuses such as Thousand Oaks Surgical Hospital, our Rehabilitation Hospital, Moorpark Imaging Center, the Center for Advanced Wound Healing, and the Cardiovascular Institute of Los Robles. With over 1,600 employees, 600 physicians on our medical staff, and over 700 volunteers, we're proud to be the community's most trusted resource for health and a regional destination for care.
So congratulations to Los Robles on its 50 remarkable years of evolution.
Congratulations, Los Robles Hospital, on meeting your commitment of caring for the past 50 years.
Here's to many more.
Here's to many more.
Here's to many more, all of you. Congratulations.
So I hope you enjoyed all that. I'm sure you recognize some of the faces. So we're going to go now on a little journey, if you'll join me, and kind of go back. Our marketing team, Megan, who's here with me, pulled together some of the media clips over the years that helped remind us of the history and everything the hospital has been through. So this is one from 1968, where Nixon and Reagan commented on Los Robles, giving new dimensions to our nation's highest standard of healthcare. This was the first baby born at Los Robles in 1968. You heard this in the video clip. So in 1970, Los Robles performed the first open heart surgery in Ventura County. And in 1970, we welcomed the 1,000th baby to be born at the hospital since it opened in 1968. In 1971, we hosted a Brownie Troop, Troop 86, for a VIP tour. And this is one of the things we continue to do. So we continue to host Girl Scouts, Brownies, and Boy Scout troops at the hospital so they can get exposure to what healthcare means and hopefully encourage them to think about healthcare careers as they kind of grow up. In 1972, the Dallas Cowboys came, and we had a relationship with them for over 26 years as they were here doing their training at Cal Lutheran for their sports physicals. In 1972, Los Robles was rated one of the top hospitals in the nation for cardiovascular care. In 1973, we started renal dialysis. So we got the first machine to take care of patients that had kidney problems. This is 1974. We participated in a first aid for Scoutorama event that was at Cal Lutheran that year. In 1975, so this was a film crew that actually came to the hospital to set up to take pictures for one of the TV dramas that was happening, landing there in front of the old hospital opening. And in 1976, we welcomed the triplets. So first set of triplets that were born at the hospital. So in 1976, this was a disaster drill that we were doing at the hospital that got some media coverage that was testing the county's capabilities and the hospital's capabilities around emergency preparedness. This is 1976. This was us celebrating our 8th birthday. 2 of the employees in this picture just recently retired from the facility, so they've been part of the team for a long time, which we benefit from having a great experienced staff. In 1978, this was another article that highlighted the cardiovascular program. Here's another 1978 clip where the volunteer program was recognized. You heard a little bit about that in the video, but we have over 700 volunteers at all of our different campuses that really support caring for our patients, which we appreciate. We have a great group of people. And this was the 10-year celebration for when the hospital opened. It was Alex Fiore and Dr. Tommy Friss Jr. were part of the celebration when the hospital was open there in 10 years. Probably recognize some of those faces too. In 1981, we opened our inpatient oncology unit. It was a 12-bed unit that opened at that time. This is 1981, and it was when we did our first balloon dilation, which was a non-surgical procedure that opened the vessels in the heart. It was kind of the start of our cath labs. This is 1981. This is another picture highlighting the Dallas Cowboys awaiting a stress test and as part of the physical there. This is also 1981. This is a group of our OB physicians that created a panel that was answering questions. You might recognize some of those physicians also. Dr. Schenkerman in the middle there is still a part of our medical staff. Yeah. So this is 1982. We had a class at the time that was called Tiny Tot Tours, where older siblings could come to the hospital as they prepared to have a new baby brother or sister. And it's a tour that we continue to offer to this day for our patients and new families. This is a picture talking about one of the expansions the hospital went through in 1983. So that in that picture is actually Dr. Paul Reiser. He's one of our physicians on staff with his daughter. They're talking about it. 1984, this was a group of our employees that would walk around the campus during kind of that fitness area. We actually still have employees that do that today, and we're actually creating mile markers so that people can begin to track their steps, since that's so important now for everyone to, again, have that active lifestyle you all were talking about earlier. This is 1984, so this was an article highlighting one of our ER physicians as he talked about why he became an ER physician. This is actually Dr. Paul David. He's part of our emergency team still and was our former board chair. This is 1985, so at the time, Los Robles had the only hyperbaric chambers on the West Coast and one of the few in the nation that helped care for some different medical conditions for patients. This is 1987. This is one of our director of education at the time giving some life-saving techniques as part of a Kids Safe program. And we have a partnership now with Safe Kids as part of our trauma program, where we really try to go around and talk about prevention and how we do want to keep people out of the hospital if we can. We want to be there for if you need us, but we want you to be safe. In 1987, we had the largest baby born at Los Robles. He weighed an impressive 13 pounds, 6 ounces, and is still the biggest baby as far as we can tell, and was 24 inches long. So, this was a new parents forum where new parents came as kind of a support group where they could talk about having new kids, and you can see it looks like the little ones at that time were having their own conversation. In 1990, we recognized our first FRIST Humanitarian Award winner, It's an award we give to an employee, a physician, and a volunteer every year that recognizes them for their work not only in the hospital, but also in the community. And it's the highest honor we can give anybody on our team. And this is Marjorie Ritchie, if any of you are familiar with her. This is 1996. So this is actually a mom who's holding 2 of her 4 babies born at the hospital. So the quadruplets. And actually, the family has stayed in touch with us. They sent us a picture of the 4 kids when they graduated from high school a couple years ago, and are doing great. So at the time the 4 kids were born, were about 20 pounds. So between the 4 of them. In 2000, we expanded our emergency room. So that was kind of the first phase of our expansion. It was at the time there was a 416% increase in the population since the hospital had opened, which those of you that are from the city understand. It was a $6.5 million project that added 12,000 square feet to the ER to really create that capacity we needed to take care of patients. And here's a picture in 2001 from the addition of our coronary care unit, or our cardiac care unit, where we added 5,000 square feet and 10 beds to our critical care environment so that we could make sure we had enough beds to care for those acute patients. In 2003, we started the first phase of the expansion of the campus and really responding to the seismic retrofits requirements, but also it gave us an opportunity, and we'll get to it, to create all private rooms. So that was kind of the start of this tower, allowed us to do that. In 2005, we added a gamma knife to our program. It really helps with, as part of our neuroscience program in conjunction with our radiation oncologists. In 2005, we also started with PACS. So it started the digitizing of images. So now we could take images, we could send them. Now our physicians can pull them up on their phones and see them from anywhere, pull them up at home. And it really helps with the treatment and sharing information as patients go through their care continuum. In 2007, we finished that project that we started in 2005. And that's really when we allowed to create that private room environment, and just gave us the space we needed and also met the new seismic requirements for the facility. In 2009, we added the Da Vinci robot to our campus. We actually added a second one in 2016, so we now have one at Thousand Oaks Surgical Hospital and one at the main campus so that our physicians have the equipment they need to take care of the patients in the environment they choose. In 2010, we talked about this a little bit, but this was when we became accredited as a Level 2 trauma center, to make sure that we had the services and the physicians and the staff expertise to take care of those patients that might experience that big trauma. In 2011, we opened our Moorpark Imaging Center. It's a great, convenient center. You just park right up at the door, and they have all the services, including 3D mammography, which makes it much more convenient than coming to the hospital for outpatient imaging services, and they're a great team there. In 2012, so Thousand Oaks Surgical Hospital became part of our team. And again, it's a great environment, great group of staff and physicians that practice there that we're excited to have as part of the Los Robles system. In 2013, we became accredited as a NAPBC Breast Center. So that's really complementary to our comprehensive cancer center status. And we have a great breast navigator, Kathy Cole, that works with our team there to make sure we're providing the care and really the service to those patients as they go through that journey. In 2014, we started doing what we call TAVR. It's transcatheter aortic valve replacement. So it's a minimally invasive approach to replacing the valve now. Originally, it was designed for patients that were too sick to have traditional open heart surgery. But now it's actually, the research studies are trialing it even for those with low risk to surgery. And we think eventually all surgery will move in this direction where it's minimally invasive approach, which is great for patients recovering outcomes. They can go home the next day or after 2 days versus surgery, you're there for about 7. In 2015, we became accredited by the Joint Commission for our hip and knee program. So we'd been doing orthopedics and hip and knee surgeries for a long time. But we really sought outside accreditation, and we do that with a few of our service lines, really just as a double check to make sure we're doing everything we can and watching the quality metrics to make sure we're delivering quality care to our patients. In 2015, we added a genetics counseling program to our cancer program. So we have a geneticist that's on site that will test patients who have a history of cancer in their family and really help guide them as they're making decisions as it relates to their genetic profiles. In 2016, we talked about this, we became the first and only comprehensive stroke center in Ventura County, and that's really important. Just like heart, time is brain, just like time is muscle in the heart. It's really important to make sure we had that service in the community, that we're able to care for patients in a timely manner, and there's been great outcomes. Patients have been able to have quick interventions and really get back out home and be themselves after having a stroke incident. In 2016, we also opened our wound care center. So it's a great center where they take care of wounds and they really help patients heal in an outpatient setting, which is much easier and better than being in the hospital for their wound care treatments. In 2016, it was a busy year. We also opened our PICU, so our Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. So prior to that, a lot of patients had to be transferred out of the community for care, and so now we can keep them in our community. We also, in January of this year, had a pediatric surgeon that joined our team, Dr. Frickman. So now even the surgical patients can stay within the community. In 2016, we also launched our Cardiovascular Institute, and that really was to continue to build on our strong history of cardiology and making sure we added those comprehensive services and also a lot of research trials so that we were bringing the latest research to the community for their care and options as they go through that journey. In 2017, we opened our first urgent care center. So we have an urgent care center here in Thousand Oaks, and then we have a second one in Simi Valley, and we think that offers a great option to patients who don't need an ER, but do need treatment and can't get into their physician that day. And so it's a great option, great convenient option. You can register online, you get in, there's no wait. It's a great option for patients who need that urgent care. In 2017, we also opened our Women's Health Partners, and again, that was just an expansion of our women's services to make sure we could meet that growing need of our OB patients. In 2018, we expanded our rehab campus, so it went from 20 beds to 40 beds. If I don't know if any of you have been over there recently, it was the old charter hospital, but they went through a complete renovation, and so the team there did a great job really creating a soothing environment for our patients, and they just most recently became Joint Commission certified for stroke care. So again, they're pursuing those those accreditations, so we're providing that quality care. At the end of last year, we also added the Mako Robot. So the Mako Robot offers our orthopedic surgeons an option when they're doing total joint patients that they can use for the appropriate patient. And so we're excited about that. And then also our awards that we receive from Health Grades as a 100 Best Hospital and an Excellence Award in our joint replacement. So we have a great team of clinicians, physicians, and staff that take care of those patients. In 2018, we also received Leapfrog A. So it's like Leapfrog grades hospitals on safety, just like restaurants get graded, similar thing, really to make sure we're providing the safest environment as possible to care for our patients. And so a little bit about the future. So something we just started this year, actually, is the next phase of our master plan. And so we had some shell space there on the left-hand side. I know it's a little hard to see. But our radiology department is going to be relocating into the shell space we had on our first floor so that our ER can expand into where the old radiology was. So our ER, again, is very tight, and we still have the first ward area that opened when the hospital opened in 1968. So the goal is to get rid of the ward area with all the curtains and make all private rooms again in the ER so the patients can have that privacy when they're really at the most risk. We want people when they're having an emergency to have quiet space and be able to receive the treatment they need. And so we're excited about that expansion. And then we're also going in and retrofitting our ORs. And so the ORs are the original 1968 ORs, and surgery has changed a lot. And so we have a lot more equipment, a lot more people, and a lot more supplies that we use now. And so creating that space within our operating rooms so our surgeons can really take great care of our patients. So that just started. It's a lot of phasing because, as you can tell, we're going in and retrofitting existing space. And so we'll be shifting folks along. So it will probably take us about 3 years to finish everything that you all see there. But it's a $76 million project that we're kicking off, and we're really excited about that investment in the next phase of our master plan. And finally, next year, we'll be adding a graduate medical education program. So we'll be adding residents to the hospital. So we do a lot of teaching now with nurses and radiology technicians and physical therapists and pharmacists. And the next phase of that for us is physicians. And so we have a physician shortage coming. I'm sure you all have heard about that. We particularly in this community have a huge need around primary care. And so we're going to work on growing our own, I guess, as you would say, and have a residency training program and leveraging our physician expertise we have in the hospital now to really train the next generation of physicians. So with that, I will say thank you. I truly appreciate it. I know I said it earlier, but I don't think the hospital would have had the success it's had or be here to celebrate its 50 years without the support of the community. So thank you all so much for that. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share the history with you. So.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. That was a wonderful presentation. And yeah, I have had excellent relationships with Los Robles Hospital over the last many years and really appreciate all the work that you folks do. Do we have any questions from the dais for our guest today? Yes. Thank you. Commissioner Allen.
Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you for the history. I find it interesting that the original project for the hospital was a $10 million project, and your last comment was on a renovation. That's a $76 million project.
Right.
How times change. Yeah. My question, could you tell us a little bit about the master planning of the facility and what challenges are most in your mind and your engineering and facilities groups for the future, the prospects of changing power resources, the impact to your facility, let's say if diesel generators weren't allowed. But what does the next 10 years look like beyond your very challenging renovation?
That's a great question. I think, I don't know that we know all of that yet. I think a lot of that will depend on how the community changes and some of it how services change. I think you all know healthcare, a lot of it is moving to outpatient, right? And we're able to do a lot more minimally invasively. And so that may drive some of our need for inpatient capacity. And so we'll have to look at that and what makes sense. From an infrastructure standpoint and a facility standpoint, we constantly work to make sure we're keeping that up. We actually have a project pending right now to replace our HVAC units. And some of our generators. And so really trying to make sure we keep the facility as up to date as we can so that we can take care of our patients. Obviously for us, those systems are so important to allow us to care for patients in a safe environment. So we'll continue to make the investments as we need to in our facilities and infrastructure. I don't know quite what that'll look like in 10 years, but we kind of have projects pending all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Byrd.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi.
Excellent presentation. My question centers around a little bit different kind of issue. What is the hospital's position in terms of the expansion in mental health programs? And obviously, as I looked at all these slides, I saw all of the organic medical, the surgical, the wound care, things like that. But obviously mental health is something that we're all dealing with, and whether it's in our own families, in the community. So I wanted to hear a little bit more. I see you nodding over there, so
great question.
I'm going to let you, please go ahead.
Great. Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we see that now in the hospital, and we don't quite have the expertise to treat it. We do have telepsychiatry available. We actually have a physician on staff that helps care for some of the patients. But we've actually been looking at that as a team. As you talked about the cost of construction and some of those limitations, it's very hard to build in California and takes a long time. So we're kind of exploring what other options there are. So one of the ones we're looking at right now actually is what we call an IOP. It's called intensive outpatient psych treatment. And it actually is done in an outpatient setting, which is easier for us to get up and running quickly. And it's a therapy, basically a group therapy session. And we have a couple of these. We're part of a large system. And so we have a couple of these programs in different parts of the country. So we've learned from them. And we think it actually would be a great addition for patients as we discharge them who continue to need mental health services. So actually looking at that right now, because we agree there's a need in the community. And so trying to find ways to grow that and meet that as quickly as possible is kind of our goal. We just had a sister facility that opened a freestanding 80-bed hospital in Las Vegas. And so it's just harder to build facilities in California. And so we think outpatient is a great option for us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other? Yes, Commissioner Posta.
Yes, you know, as where you are right now, of course, is the Council on Aging we have here. We're interested in the old people, you know, all of these people that have reached a certain age and so on. Is the hospital really directing more and more resources or plans directed at the aging? Because the aging group is really growing in Thousand Oaks faster than in many, many other places.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. And so we do talk about that as a team. How do we support kind of our senior health programs and what does that look like? We're doing a lot of conversations and education with our skilled nursing and home health groups because, you know, we don't own any of those. It's kind of a community partnership like we all are. And so doing a lot of education with our physicians and how do we make sure as we discharge patients, they have a seamless transition in their continuum of care. But I think one of the things we'll look at with our graduate medical education program is the addition of a geriatrician program so that we can have that physician expertise that helps us care for patients. And so those are the couple things is just better coordination with our discharging, you know, our SNFs and our home health agencies, and then also some of building on the physician expertise from a geriatric standpoint.
Maybe you can attract some more of these young doctors in your residency program to go into geriatric medicine.
Yes, that's our hope.
And settle here.
So what we've learned is, and I don't have the percentage off, but there's a huge percentage of physicians that stay in the community where they train.
Yes.
And so that is the attraction. Is the hope is that if we can get them here to train, that they'll want to stay.
Great. Thank you.
And Commissioner Mortimer.
Hi, Natalie. Thank you for that. That was wonderful. I just want to know where the location of that urgent care is in Thousand Oaks.
So it is on the corner of Thousand Oaks Boulevard and Westlake Boulevard, behind the gas station there. It's called Care Now. And then there's one in Simi on Los Angeles Avenue. I know where they are. It's just the streets. I apologize. Yes. Yeah.
One other thing is the thing that you mentioned about Care Now. One of the really excellent things that you can do in urgent care too is you can register online. You can actually sit in your home and wait for them to let you know when to come in. And so you're not in that waiting room. And I personally experienced that at Care Now, and I thought that was great because, again, there was a whole room full of sneezing and coughing, and I was there for something other than sneezing and coughing, and so I thought that was great. I got in within 3 minutes. I was seen by the physician after sitting in my home for about an hour waiting, so I thought that was excellent.
Yeah, great.
Any other questions from the dais? Well, thank you once again for an excellent presentation. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And if you're available to stay for a couple minutes after the end of the broadcast, our audience members may have a few questions. Thank you. We'll continue the meeting now with number 8 on our agenda, which is commissioner comments. And I will start down at my left. Commissioner Allen, Commissioner Belding. Okay. Yes, Commissioner Burt.
Hi again. I wanted to make the senior community and community in general aware. You probably have seen or read articles in the Acorn or even in the LA Times about the rash of burglaries that we have seen. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of them all over the Canejo in terms of Thousand Oaks, Westlake, Simi Valley. And just, again, seniors can be especially vulnerable. And one of the things that I've learned as a senior and as a vulnerable senior is that it's really important to be aware, take some precautions in terms of, if you ask law enforcement, they'll tell you lighting is important. If you have any security systems, of course, that's important. Glass breakage is important. Leaving a car in the driveway. If you have 2 vehicles and you're going out and there's nobody at home, leaving a car in the driveway while you're out. If you have windows that face an open space, maybe, making sure they're closed at night. The lights are on, as I'd mentioned. And also be especially aware that these thieves are going into master bedrooms for the most part. if you have a master bedroom and you have a single-story home as a senior, which a lot of seniors do, that's the most vulnerable area. Keep your valuables outside of the master bedroom. If you have extra cash at home or you keep checkbooks or personal financial statements, make sure they're not in the master bedroom. And so, again, if you're also leaving, if you can leave a radio on or leave the TV on, you go out to dinner, you might not be that target that you don't want to be. So, and I learned the hard way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Commissioner Maria.
I just wanted to remind everybody that our Senior of the Year dinner and award ceremony is fast approaching. It's going to be June 13th at 5:30 p.m. and it's held at the Goebel Community Center. So I would like everybody to join us there. It's a really fun event. And this year, as always, we've got fabulous nominees. We'll be recognizing Cynthia Bell, Gail Field, Chuck Huffer, Patricia Jones, Ricky Mickelson, and Stasia Simral. So if you know them and are friends of theirs, please come out and support them at the event. Again, it's at the Goebel Adult Community Center, and it's going to be a fabulous dinner provided by Cisco's. We've got great sponsors. We couldn't do it without our sponsors. In addition to the City of Thousand Oaks Library, we have 805 Dentistry, Comfort Keepers, the Reserve at Thousand Oaks, the Goebel Community Center, Canejo Senior Volunteer Program, and the Thousand Oaks Library Foundation store that are all helping us be able to put this together for you. The tickets are $6, and you can pick them up at the Goebel Community Center at the front desk. So we hope to see you there.
Thank you, Commissioner Maria. And Commissioner Belding.
I just wanted to add one thing. Thank you so much, Commissioner Maria. But I did just find out that Jason Love, a fairly local comedian, will also be in attendance at the senior award dinner. And I've gone to see him in 3 different counties, and he is really funny, and he brings funny people, and it's a great thing that they added. I love it.
Thank you very much. Vice Chair Allen? No? And down here? Do we have any commissioner comments at this end of the dais? No? Okay, well, I will just mention that I would like to thank Mayor McCoy and the Thousand Oaks City Council for the lovely proclamation they presented to us at the last City Council meeting in honor of May being Older Americans Month. Older Americans Month began in 1963 with a proclamation by President Kennedy. And at that time, there were 17 million Americans over the age of 65 in the country, and today that number is closer to 50 million. So during this month, I mean, every day, any day, and especially during the month of May, take a few minutes to say thank you, to honor, to recognize an individual who is an older adult, and we appreciate that. And I would like to, in light of that, thank my fellow commissioners who did all the work this month to prepare a really wonderful program for everyone. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting until June 2nd. June 2nd? June 6th? June 6th, I'm sorry, June 6th, when our speaker will be Nancy Healy, who was the 2018 Senior of the Year, and she is going to introduce the nominees that Commissioner Maria mentioned who are being nominated this year. We'll hear a little bit about why volunteerism is so important to them and to our community. So we look forward to that. Again, that is Wednesday, June 6th, and I will now adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much for attending.